Hello, good morning, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Tuesday, the 9th of March 2021. It's very early. In fact, this Sudoku puzzle was only posted just a couple of minutes ago in the Guardian, so nobody's beaten me to it. In the news, I noticed that former President Lula of Brazil has had his corruption charges quashed, enabling him to take more political action again. I have no idea if he's going to be good for the country or not, but anybody that opposes Bolsonaro's lunacy, I mean, he's clearly just a wannabe Trump. Has to have something good. So let's hope that he at least manages to counteract some of Bolsonaro's insane policies. Okay, that's it for political nonsense today. The Guardian Sudoku today has labeled itself as medium, so we may have some beginners with us today. So let's see a quick explanation of the rules. You can see a large 9 by 9 squares grid, and then each 3 squares across and down are divided into another segment like this, so we end up with 9 segments. Within each segment you need numbers 1 to 9, within each column 1 to 9, and each row 1 to 9, and that is the rule of Sudoku, or those are the rules of Sudoku, I should more correctly say. Now, how do we find numbers? Well, for example, like this, we can see that this 4 is in this column, and since there aren't 9 squares, it can't appear again, and the same for this 4. So a 4 cannot appear again in the same column, right? So that means that there's no 4 here or here because of this, and there's no 4 here. And the same thing for rows. 4 cannot appear in this row again, so this number is clearly blocked. So blocking, blocking, blocking. There's just one place where we can put a 4 this morning. It's got to go there. And so we go around the grid looking for similar kind of examples and seeing where we can fit stuff. For example, this 7 goes up this column, blocking any other squares from being 7, 7 down here, and 7 across here. So blocking, 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 leaving only one place where we can put a 7. Right? So that's generally how we play Sudoku. I hope you can look at the 7s and see across to the right hand side, you'll see something fairly similar, right? 7 blocking here, 7 blocking here, and 7 blocking here. After a while, your eyes will tend to work along the rows and columns. They're just kind of guided. Let's try again. Try to guide your eye. Look at the 7 I've just written in, and use the 7 below, and try to guide your eyes upwards. And hopefully you will have seen by now that this 7 blocks these 2 squares, this 7 blocks this square, and there is only one place left in the whole of that segment, so 7 has to appear there. And can we complete the whole puzzle like that? Not usually, not unless it's a real beginner's puzzle. We have to do a bit more than that usually, but that's where we find enjoyment of Sudoku. Okay, what else have we got? I can see. So I'm just looking around the grid because I don't look at this before I begin these videos. Looking at it for the first time as you are, if you haven't already tried to play the game. Hopefully you are trying to play these yourselves. I include the link every day, so once you've learned the basics, you should go off and try for yourself, of course. This is, I wouldn't say it's really a spectator sport. I mean, it can be, but I think it's really something you have to do for yourself. There's 4 in this column here, there's 4 in this column here, and a 4 in this row. So the same technique that we've been using allows us to put a 4 in that square there. Here's some traffic this morning. It's early traffic. If it is a medium level, I'm hoping you should have played some Sudoku before. I think you know that at least played a couple of basic games before, and that will be useful. Okay, the reason I'm doing this puzzle so early today is because I've got some work to do, and so I'm going to start putting in candidates pretty quickly here. Now, I might be able to continue along further without placing candidates, but I simply have to get on with some stuff today, and so I'm going to start filling in some candidates. So the first candidate I want to fill in here is this 8 here and here. So what do I mean by candidate? So we've learned already that, you know, this 8 blocks this row here, right? Can't appear again. And we know that this 8 blocks this column here like this. So we're blocking and blocking. Now we have 2 squares left, not 1 square left. 2 possible locations. And so I'm going to put in a pencil mark, or it's more accurately a blue pen mark, to indicate where an 8 will go. I don't know which square it's in, but it's going to save me lots of time later when I find things, when I'm looking for things. Okay, so it's a kind of handy note type form. Now I'm going to put down 8s here too. So 8 across here, 8 across here, 8 down here. So 8 appears in these 2 squares here, like that. So I'm going to spend some time looking for pairs. So this 7 across here, this 7 across here, and this 7 up here means that 7 appears in, can appear in those 2 squares like that. This 5 down here and this 5 up here, so 5 blocking, 5 blocking, 5 blocking, which is what I was doing before until I kind of interrupted myself sillily. That's the adverb for silly. I've invented a new word, excuse me. Right, now when we have a pair like this, 8 and 5, well, this is exclusively 8 and 5 in these 2 squares. No 8 or 5 can appear anywhere else, and it also means that no other number can come in here now. Will that help us? Anything else across there? 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6. Okay, so we have a 6 down here, okay, blocking this row here, a column here rather. Okay, the 6 blocks this square and this square. So it means that 6 now has to appear in either of these 2 squares. Okay, 6 blocks down here. It can't come here or here because this has to be either 8 or 5, nothing else. And now that we've done that, we can see that this 6 comes across here. 6 has to appear. 6 has to appear in either this square or this square. So in other words, it still blocks this row, similar to if we had already placed it. 6 across here, and this 6 blocks here, so we can find another number 6 there like that. We can put in a pair of 6s up here as candidates as well, you'll notice, because the 6 continues up and this 6 continues up. So we can put in 6s up there, just in case it helps us. Oh, actually, I've just noticed that there is a 6 down here and a 6 across here, and it's been there since the beginning, so I should have found this one earlier. But as I said, I'm kind of pushed for time this morning, so we'll do this. Now, we had a pair of 6s here. This 6 we can now cross off, right? Because it can't exist because there's already a 6 here, and so we know that that has to be a 6 there. Okay. So let's shift focus around. This 1 across here means the pair either in this square or this square, right? Blocks this whole row here, and also in here and here, because it blocks the central row there. This 1 comes along here, blocking this bottom row, so that square or that square could be a 1. So we'll write in candidate 1 up here, like that. 1 up here blocks, this one blocks this square, so 1 is a pair in this column, like that. Two now has to be either here or here, right? 2 blocking this square. These two squares are already booked, and so we'll put 2 either here or here. 2 down this column here, 2 down this column here, meaning 2 has to appear in one of these 2 squares here, like that. Seven across here, 7 across here, and 7 down here. You may be wondering, why am I trying to find pairs in this segment that has no numbers whatsoever? It looks very barren, doesn't it? You know, you may be thinking, well, that's a kind of a fruitless task. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you know, it can save a lot of time later. I would not be concerned with how many particular numbers we already have, although of course quite often if you have more numbers already it's easier to fill the remaining digits, but that's not the only concern, I think. Okay, in this segment here we have 8 across here and 8 up here, so we can fix a pair of 8s here and here, right? Four back across here, 4 across here, so a pair of 4s here. Ah, 2 blocking this square here, and so 2 has to appear either here or here. Also, let's bring that across, and the top one across, and there's a 2 blocking this left hand column here, so 2 has to appear as a pair either here or here. This 8 bringing up this column, 8 across this row, allows us to put 8s in those 2 locations. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like there's probably something that I'm just simply not noticing because it's too early, or for some other reason, like I'm just too thick. I can see lots of triples. I have been avoiding filling them in for the moment, because it is a medium level, supposed to be a medium level puzzle, although the Guardian classification is, I think, rather notoriously unreliable. This 9 blocks that square there. I'm going to put in a pair of 9s there. I'm not sure that's going to help us. As I said, I can see lots of triples, but Wow, okay. I'm gonna, in the interests of time, I'm going to start filling in other candidates, and apart from just pairs. So, alright, so we can see that there's no 9 here and the 9 blocks here, so I'm going to fill in 3 possible locations for 9 in these squares here. Same thing up here, we have 9 across here, 9 across here, but no other intersecting 9s. Now I put these 9s in the bottom right of the square. You'll notice the paired numbers, pairs within a segment, I've been putting in the top left as a way to indicate that it's a pair, because it makes finding numbers much easier at a later stage. Okay, The trouble is when you start filling in lots of candidates, it starts to be more difficult to see things and to find things, I think. So that's why I try to avoid it for as long as possible. But you know, you just get to a stage where you say, okay, let's do it. We don't have 3 in this segment yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have all of the numbers, but the 3 is not a pair. Now this actually will be either a 1 or a 3 here, so it is effectively a pair, but I don't write it in the top left because it's not a pair within this particular segment. Okay. What are we missing here? 1, 2, 3 we don't have yet, but that could go anywhere. So we'll put 3 here. Not here, of course, because this is done already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 we have, 9. Aha, glad I did that. Okay, because now we recognize 9 can't come here. 9 has to be down here. Now that's going to be a pair. And since there is a pair, we'll see 9 and 2 in the same square. It means nothing else can exist. Like we have 8 and 5 here, it means nothing else can exist. Now actually that leaves us just with one number, which is a 3 here, and so we can fill that in. Our 9 that we have in here now is useful because we can bring it across, and we have 9 across here. So now we have 4 and 9 again as a fixed pair. We can't put any other locked pair, I believe they're called by some people, in here. So we know what the other number is here. It has to be 3, right? Because we have 1, 2, we don't have 3 yet, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 we have. So the 3 blocks this square here. So therefore comes here, and we can fill in the 1 immediately. Now that we have that 1, remember this is why we put in pairs of numbers. It's easy to find. Look, there's a 1 in the top left that indicates somewhere in this segment there's another 1. So we can write it in, and we will do so. And remember to remove the other candidate. Again, looking down, we see a 1 here. So there's another 1 somewhere. It's there, and we're overwriting a 2, so we can fill in the 2. And now we can remove the candidate. Okay. Now that we know that 2 goes here, or rather blocks this square here, there's only 2 and 9 missing from this column, right? 2 and 9 missing, 2 blocks here, so the 2 has to be here. And we know that was part of a pair, so our 9 goes here, and our 9 goes here. And we can eliminate candidate 9 here. The missing numbers here are 2 and 3. I'll write them in for you. I'm not sure it's essential, but let's do it anyway. So now that we've got 3 across here, and 3 across here, and 3 down here, we can see that 3 has to be a pair here or here. Oh, what's missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 9 are the missing numbers. Well, this 9 and this 9 here both block this square, so 9 has to go here, and this has to be 5. So we're finding a lot more over here now. 5 blocking here, 5 blocking here, and 5 blocking here. And guess what? We've got 7 and 5 again as a locked pair, and so that means we can find this number here, can't we? Because we have 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 7 and 5, 7, 5. So no other numbers can appear in these squares. And so when we look along this row, we'll find there's only one more number, which is the 1. So we can fill that in now. Now we know that 2 blocks here and 2 blocks here, so there are 2 locations, so we can write that in the top left. 2 locations where 2 can appear. What else are we missing? We're missing the 4 here, 4 along here, 4 along here, but no 4s that give us an intersecting line here, so we're going to put those in the bottom right, 3 number 4 candidates. And that's it for here, right? 3, 8 and 4. There are 3 numbers, 3 squares left, so there are only 3 numbers that can fit here, 8, 3 and 4, and 8, 3 and 4 can't appear anywhere else. The same thing for here. We need one more number to fill in our third number from here, or the final number from here. So the other missing number is 6. Now they have an intersecting 6 here, so we can put 6 like this. Now this segment is done as much as we can do at this point right now. Let's come back and look around somewhere else, because now in this row across here we had 8 and 5 missing here, so that's got to be 8 or 5 also, right? When we see two empty squares and we see a pair of numbers, well, the other has to be the same. So this 5 blocks the possibility of it being 5 here, so therefore that's 8 and that's 5 and this is 8, but we can't say that that one is 5 just yet, okay, because it doesn't, we didn't have a pair of 8 or 5 like we did here, so let's just hold on that. Let's not jump the gun. But there is only one number left to get in this column now, and you'll see if you count through that it's actually a 1. Okay, and now we're overwriting an 8, so we can put in the 8 here like this. We had a 1 as a pair here, right? See it in the top left, so we know it's in the other square. We're overwriting a 2 in the top left, not the 3, but the 2 is in the top left. So we can put in the 2, and there's only one number left to go now, which is 3, so we can put that in. Back down here we had our 2 and 3 pair, so that's our 3, that's our 2. And we can find what numbers are missing here. 1, 2, it's 3 and 5 missing here. Are there any intersecting 3s or 5s? Well, no, but I've just noticed something else, that this 5 will block this row here and therefore has to appear in that square there, doesn't it? So 5's got to come there. We're overwriting a pair, that's 6. So now of our 3 and 5 here, we know that has to be a 3 and that has to be a 5 because the 5 already blocks that place there. The last number left to get here is 3, so we'll fill that in like so. So now we're going to be able to find the numbers along the row here as candidates. We can certainly do that much as a minimum, but also we should be able to find the last numbers much more easily. So actually you can see a 1 along here, a 1 along here, a 1 up, 1 up. So got that blocking here, blocking here, blocking and blocking. So the only place a 1 can go is here. Now we're overwriting a 7. So 7 comes here, we're overwriting a 2, so the 2 goes there. Now look down, did we have 2 as a pair? Yes, it's in the top left, so it's not going to appear there anymore, right? It's going to appear here. We're overwriting a 6. 6 is here. There's only one more square in that row, which is a 9, so we can do that. This 9 candidate can now be removed. We actually have a pair of 9s now. In most games I would promote that to the top left, but we've almost finished here. I just don't think it's necessary. It's just too easy to finish off now. So 7 down here, 7 down here. We had a 7 pair here, so 7 comes here and we can put the 5 in. Bring the 5 back up to this segment here, blocking these 2 squares. This 5 blocking these 2 squares. This 5 blocks along here, so 5 is going to appear here. Our 9 now, there's only one place for a 9, one candidate 9 left. Go there. 4, 9, 4, 9, that's our 9, that's our 4, isn't it? Bring the 4 down. We had either 8 or 4, and remember this is actually complete. Now even though the 4 was not part of a pair, we can in fact fill in the 8 because there were, it is a pair, effectively a pair, although it's not a pair within the segment rather. So the 4, there were 3 possible locations for 4. Okay, so that leaves us with 3, 4, 3, 4 like this. Alright, now there's one number missing along here. It's a 3 for that row. So let's fill it in, and when we do that, we'll come back to our 3, 4 down here and go 3 there, 4 there. At the top, 4 blocks, so 4, that's there. Other missing numbers are 6. 6 is blocking here. The last number is 8. Our medium level puzzle finished for today. I'll be generous and say it was a medium level. I'm not sure exactly, but it's good enough for this morning. It is still very early. The birds are tweeting. In fact, the sun hasn't fully come up yet. But maybe that's a nice way to play Sudoku. Thank you very much for today. Oh, please subscribe to the channel for daily Sudoku videos. At the moment I'm doing the Guardian every day, unless I'm sick. I haven't missed a day yet though, unless they have only killer Sudokus. But later on, hopefully, if you do subscribe, there will be other Sudoku videos on the channel too. I have some plans ahead. Thank you very much. Bye bye.